God, did he take it away from me? I don't know if that fish is still on there.
What is going on, my homie? So there's one small department I got a little credibility in, and that's frogging, flipping, fishing heavy grass, right? And so for guys like us who are obsessed with that kind of fishing, the two B's are important: baits and braid, right? So I spent the past year, you guys know my buddy Ryan, right, from Cast Baits. They developed this frog and flip braid, and I kind of had my hands in it a little. So what we're gonna do, we're out in the motherland, dude, Lake Guntersville. We're gonna see if I wasted my time and put this stuff to the test. And I've also been playing around with something that's kind of sneaky. It's sort of trending when it comes to heavy cover guys flipping, especially on the tournament scene, using a certain specific style of bait. And it's kind of a little trick, dude. And I think you guys are gonna enjoy that. I'm gonna show you both these things. We're gonna put this braid to the test and hopefully listen to a little bit of that symphonic orchestra. So hit that like and subscribe button. We're gonna get battle balls in the water. Let's go.
Even under there, boys.
He's still there. Oh!
Every single one I'm catching is dead smack in the midst of the mat. Just like that. I guess there's no better way to test braid than freaking pitch it into the middle of the thickest stuff you can find, set the hook like a man, and then pull them out. You under there, bro? Oh yeah, you are.
I think that's one. That's a freaking good one. Oh, you come off. Just the braid works. Mike doesn't. Hey, that's just a reality. Dude, you never even got the hook. I should almost pitch it back in there. Shouldn't be laughing. So let me show you this little sneaky concept I've been playing with. And it's sort of something we've already been doing, but I see a lot more opportunities with some of the new baits that are out there. And basically, you guys know, I'll never put down like a BB cricket, like my Gambler, little kind of like flipping bait. I showed you guys kind of a sneaky stick bait presentation where we're almost flipping basically like a Ned. We're punching a Ned. One thing I've been playing around with, and the reason being is 99.879% of these fish that we're catching in this matty kind of thick grass, they're eating brim, right? They're not eating shad, they're not eating minnows, maybe they're eating crawfish, but the vast majority are eating brim. And there's been an evolution when it comes to soft plastic baits, making them a lot more oval-esque, right? There's a lot more opportunities to flip something that has that profile beyond just, you know, Reaction Innovations freaking beaver, right? One isn't even a freshwater bait, dude. It's actually a Z-Man crab. And what I'm looking for in these baits is that oval-esque kind of form, just looking like a little bite-sized kind of brim. This one actually has a cool little kind of, I don't know, paddled sort of like flick tail. It's got a little bit different kick to it. The other one, and JT put me onto this one, dude. This is the new Netbait Bull Brim. It's part of that Hextech series, a little bit bigger. It almost has like a skirt tail to it, but once again, that very oval-esque kind of like brim style shape. These are the style of baits that I've always used for bed fishing because they really represent like a bed invader. So what I started thinking about is, why am I not punching these? They're pretty streamlined, they're pretty thin, they get through the mat well, and they represent exactly what those fish are eating. The other one, and this one's a little funky, I actually have to use a little smaller. I run the little Trocar 3/0 hook for this one. This is the Bodega, the 6th Sense. It has this crazy thin tail, but it looks exactly like a brim. It has that sort of rounded shape, and you get this interesting flutter. You know, it has components of that old school beaver, but it has a much more rounded, elongated, oval-esque body, including the tail. So that's one of the tricks, and I've seen it trending in tournaments, just for my personal fishing, is a lot of these baits, these new school baits, really present that brim shape, and they work really well when you put them in places where they're not expecting them, like a flipping style situation or a punching style situation. So there's kind of 3 different ways that I approach some of this like heavy cover mat stuff, whether it's chop grass, milfoil, hydrilla, just that can of beads. He's still on there, dude. And you know what? That right there is one of them. Dude, that's like a 3.5, 4 pounder, dude. That's a great big one. So that would be one way. And basically it's drop flipping, right? Let me get her back. Look how pretty that thing is. And basically what I mean by that is you're power fishing, right? I'm making a pitch, I'm using a 1 1/4 right now. I'm having it just go straight through. It's all about the reaction, right? On that first fall, initial drop, no fancy stuff. So the other one, you reorchestrate this bull brim here. The other one's a little more nuanced, and a lot of guys do this one. The last one, a lot of guys don't, and that's where I get a little lucky. I probably shouldn't put it on the video, but put it on videos for years. So what I'm gonna do is pitch it in, and as long as one doesn't eat it on the drop, I'm gonna let it go through. And since we're on kind of an isolated target, I'm just gonna use my rod tip, and I'm just pumping. And basically what it looks like is like a little brim or a little bait fish under that mat, maybe bumping plankton, bumping bugs, hitting like the top, like underside of that mat and sort of dancing around. And in a lot of situations, you can do it 10, 15. There's places on Okeechobee during the cold, I've done this like 15, 25, 30 times and then gotten bit. The other one, and this one's for like fish, you know, you're feeling like they're neutral, they're not in a good mood, you're not getting them on the drop, you're not getting them on the pump, you get that bait in there. Once again, best on kind of like an isolated target or a stretch where you're picking it apart, you get it in there and you lift. And this one's a little awkward because your rod's kind of up high, and basically I'm suspending that bait kind of just pinched into the roof of that mat. And I think it just looks like a brim sitting there hanging out. It's great when these fish are neutral, and what'll happen is they'll just come over and you'll feel a little tick. And 9 times out of 10, it's gonna feel like a 10-inch, 12-inch bass. And then it's gonna be like a 6-pounder, dude. It's just a little soft tick, or you'll feel them kind of pulling it. The biggest trick with this sort of dangle presentation is, dude, when you feel them get it, they're neutral. They're not in a great mood. Do not drop on them like that, right? Because you're basically giving them like a 1 1/4 right to the mouth, and they're like, what's this heavy thing? And they drop it. You really need to keep tension on them, and you kind of reel down and keep that tension and then hit them. Never let them really kind of feel the girth, the weight of that weight, because they tend to drop it, dude. But those are kind of like my 3 standard approaches when it comes to flipping some of this heavy kind of canopy grass that we see during the summer. God, did he take it away from me? I don't know if that fish is still on there. Come to Papa. Dude, he like came up and like took the freaking bait from me. He is still on there. Not a great big, do you see that though? Like literally, dude, I'm suspending the bait onto the mat, and it's this is the little crab, you know, like saltwater, freshwater fishing. And I'm just holding it there, and I think the bait's kind of like floating because it's that elastic stuff. And bro, he came and just like took it from me, like took the freaking bait from me. And then the camera died. Perfect. That was freaking cool. Please still be on there. Oh, that might be a little better one. Get them high, keep them high. Catch you a sizable critter, dude. I love this, dude. The way that braid sounds, it's freaking ridiculous. These fish are so cool. Once again though, I had to work them out, dude. I had to just kind of nuance them, kind of flick them a little bit, flick the beam, as they call it. But you gotta do it right or it doesn't work. It's squealing right, and it's holding up. The other thing too is, I don't know if you guys can see, but like this grass, it's kind of green, right? But then there's like yellowish kind of like strands in there that have more of a yellow tone. One of the things I told Ryan is, I'm like, dude, I hate bringing a permanent marker, right? Like it drives me nuts, like marking up, making the line dark. And to be honest with you, like either straight green or straight black, I don't think either of them kind of blend in. So I'm like, can you do like a camo style pattern, like a swirl? So what he did is he made like a yellow, green. It's kind of like a swirled kind of braid camo. And especially for like Guntersville, I don't know if it's good like everywhere else, like Okeechobee, down in Florida, it's good. But when you get this like yellow dyeing plus green alive stuff, it's the perfect freaking blend for it, dude. Totally camouflage. So I want to run through some specs on this line, but I don't want to make it like some stupid product. product video. I kind of just want to highlight, there are a few things I asked Ryan to kind of incorporate into it, and they're things that they're small, but for somebody like me who's kind of obsessed with the punching, the flipping, the frog, and the grass and heavy cover, they're big players. So the first one, the most important one, was quietness, right? Making this braid silent, and that meant smoothing it out. A lot of braids have like ridges and they make this sawing sound, especially when you're like pitching in, you're doing that doodle dongle kind of deal and you're pumping it. Like that's my forte, right? Like that's one of my juice points. And so braid that doesn't make that screeching sound when it's just being pumped up and down, it doesn't make that sawing sound, really allows sort of just to be a little quieter, a little more finesse, right? The other thing was they use this coating, and I'm not gonna pretend that I know what it is, but some braids you start off and they float, right? They're good to go. But throughout the day, you're throwing a frog, and it's really more important with a frog versus flipping. They'll start to take on water. They get like water saturated and they'll actually sink. So if you're fishing a cheese mat and there's some holes in it, you'll have portions of your braid that will actually sink under the water. And when it comes to setting the hook, you reel down. Well, not only are you reeling down to the fish, but you're actually pulling that line up that's sunk under the water, especially if you're fishing a frog real slow. So it can inhibit hook set. So they have some crazy chemical coating treatment thing that allows that line to not sup up that water, and thus it's gonna float 12 hours, 8 hours, however long you fish, right? The last one, and maybe this one's in my head, but it means something to me. Most guys who like to punch, who like to flip, even frog, they're always gonna have a permanent marker, right? Like a black permanent marker, because even that green line that you start off with, it's gonna turn bright. It's gonna get sun faded, it's gonna get worked. Well, I hate having a marker, and to be totally honest with you, even if it's green braid, like you look at the stuff that we flip, that we punch, like it's not all green, it's grass, but it's all these different colors and shades and hues, right? So how do you actually like make like camouflage that's correct for the environment? So what Ryan did, and I asked for something like this, but it came out a lot better than I thought, is this yellow-green swirl. It's sort of this back and forth kind of coloration, and what it does, especially for places like Guntersville, like Lake Okeechobee, a lot of the grass is like dying or yellow, or it's green and vibrant, right? It blends like perfectly into the environment, and no braid's gonna be clear, so the only alternative option you can do is make it as camouflage as possible. We got a lot of dead soldiers, my homies, but that means it was a good day. So, couple things. Try this brim thing. Like there's all these new school baits, like analyze them and look at them, look for that oval-esque kind of featuring, because honestly, that's what they're eating under these mats in this heavy cover. They're eating the bluegill, they're eating the brim, dude. So the better you can mimic it and the newer stuff you can show them that they haven't seen, I think it gets you an edge. That's just my opinion. So what's the outcome on the braid? Well, I honestly like it, and I'm biased, dude. I'm buddies with Ryan. He's a good friend, and he implemented some of the things that I recommended. The most important part is that silent thing, and especially with the fish that we caught, like you saw how it made a difference, right? We're sitting there dangle-dicking, we're holding that bait up on the bottom of the mat, maybe pumping it ever so slightly, a couple inches, and it was quiet, right? These fish would literally come to the bait. It was stealthy, and I think if you have like a sawing style or a rougher kind of rigid braid, you're gonna get more sound in those fish. Like, I'm not saying you're gonna catch 47 more, but you might catch 2 more. You might get 3 extra bites because of it. For those of you guys that kind of want to try this deal out, I got a real simple setup. What we were using is just a big weight, a big tungsten weight. I think this is a 1 1/4. I run double bobber stoppers, and that's a trocar. It's like a 3/0 we had on one, and then a 4/0. That's the Magnum or the monster flipping hook. And then we had it on that braid. We're running the flip braid, the 80-pound, and then we got a big old stout rod, big old 7.6 heavy Halo XD3. Give this a try out the braid. Like I said, I'm biased, but I really liked it. It sang the song of my people. A lot of like, and there is no better feeling and no better sound in life than that. But we're gonna wrap this thing up. I'll put links to everything down at Monster Bass and Tackle Warehouse for you guys to check out if you're interested. And we're gonna go dangle on them a little bit more.